Okay. All right. So there seems to be some level of a misconception here because Hayden Christensen came back. He came back last year, not even last year, was that this year? In Obi-Wan. We loved him. He came back again for Ahsoka. And the misconception that is currently happening is that he was hated. That where's all this love coming from in regards to the fans? And I feel as though there needs to be something that's cleared up. I am 34 years old. I'm an old man now. I was 9 years old when The Phantom Menace came out, and it was the coolest shit I ever saw. I was 12 years old, roughly, when Attack of the Clones came out. And once again, it was the coolest shit that I ever saw. Um, Pod racing in the first movie, fantastic. Absolutely fucking loved it. My jaw was on the floor the entire time. Anakin taking the Naboo starfighter into space to blow up the it wasn't a Death Star, but I remember young 9-year-old me was like, that thing's shaped like the Death Star. It's the control hub for the droids on the planet. Coolest shit ever. Was Jar Jar cheesy? Yeah, but I wasn't here for Jar Jar. Duel of the Fates between Qui-Gon, Maul, and Obi-Wan, nothing could ever beat that in my mind. Clone Wars, Attack of the Clones comes out, and that final scene with Anakin and Obi-Wan versus Dooku, I remember my eyes were transfixed on the screen, baby, when Anakin and Dooku are having their lightsaber duel, and it's flashing back and forth between both of the colors. It's like red, blue, and it seems as though they're an even match. Then Dooku slashes that thing on the floor, and they get into like a different stance, and then they duke it out one more time. Then Dooku finishes Anakin off with one strike, Force pushes him away. Cool as hell. When Yoda walks in and starts going ham, my mind, my 12-year-old mind melted and oozed out of my ears because I was only familiar with old man Yoda, having Yoda spin around like a fucking Beyblade and just completely exasperating and overpowering Dooku, who just overpowered Anakin and Obi-Wan. Mine just exploded. Then Revenge of the Sith rolls around, and it's the same thing all over again. Watching the gorgeous fall of Darth Vader, the creation of this monster that's going to go forward and terrorize the entire galaxy was dope as hell. I fucking loved Hayden Christensen. I actually liked Jake Lloyd. I thought he did a fantastic job in the first movie as young Anakin Skywalker. The concept of bad acting and bad plot and George Lucas not being able to do this and that shit wasn't relevant to me when I was 9, 12, and 15 years old. I was seeing my generation of fucking Star Wars, and I loved all of these fucking people. Here's the thing. I was 9, 12, and 15 when these movies came out, which means that the people that were spitting vitriol were the people that were already in their fucking 30s and 40s who saw the original fucking movies when they came out in the fucking 70s, which means that I wasn't aware when I was a kid that Hayden Christensen was getting all this fucking hate. I bought everything that he was on. I had remember when we were in school, we used to have to buy folders to put our test papers in and a bunch of other. I'm old. Old people will know this. We had to buy folders and binders and shit. I had a fucking Darth Maul one. I had one with Hayden Christensen where he was Anakin from Attack of the Clones. I had one where he was Anakin again from Revenge of the Sith. Then I had one where it was like Darth Vader. Then the one where he's laying on the table and it's just his mask. Love the guy. Absolutely fucking loved him. And these people who hated him were the older adults who were going to fucking conventions and were writing fucking notes to Lucas on his Star Walker Ranch, who were showing up at conventions, booing him and telling him how much he fucking sucked and his thing was garbage, and harassed Lucas to the point where he got fucking depression and just sold the shit to fucking Disney, harassing Hayden Christensen to the point where he was just like, you know what? fuck this, fuck acting. I'm gonna get me a fucking farm. I'm just gonna raise my daughter and be fucking happy. So when he came back and he was getting cheers and he didn't understand the fucking cheers, it's because the people that were kids that enjoyed Star Wars for what it was were adults. We grew up. We were now the people paying to go to fucking D23 Disney Expo, showing up to Awesome Con and Comic Con and Dragon Con, all this other type of stuff, where he was at and being like, yo, I fucking loved you when I was a kid. You're Anakin Skywalker. You're freaking Darth Vader. You're absolutely freaking fantastic. We're the adults now. We have grown so much, as in so back in the 70s, nerd culture was small. Decent, but small. In comparison to the size of the nerds that were raised in the 90s on just anime, Cartoon Network, Star Wars, X-Men the animated series, Spider-Man the animated series, we fucking grew up to take all this shit over with. So when we were adults, there's an argument to be said that we became the villains as well in regards to how we treated the sequels, who were also for kids, but that's a video for another fucking time. We are focusing on this because there is just some weird misunderstanding happening here that's like, oh, he was always hated, and all of a sudden now they don't hate him. We never fucking hated him. We just had to grow up and remove those individuals that were in the nerd community because they're fucking old now, and show our love and support for Hayden. I love seeing him back once again. It's fucking great. If I could run this shit back and take a million fucking nerds with me back to the friggin' the Phantom Menace, first off, I'd be like, hey Lucas, there's some lines I think you should drop. I know I Hate Sand is iconic, but let's think about this. let's think about this. I'm not saying we change a lot. I'm just saying there's one or two lines that are a wee bit problematic. But like, we need to bring that down, because we'd be able to show Ahmed Best love back in the day as Jar Jar Binks. We weren't fucking writing hate letters to Ahmed Best, telling him what he should do with his life because he played a fucking character. We laughed at Jar Jar Binks. We dug Jar Jar Binks. I had the fucking Jar Jar Binks cup from Burger King that you could drink out of the fucking top of. I had a freaking folder with Jar Jar on it. Jar Jar on it. None of that. I don't know what to say. Like this, like this shock that's coming from people. That's like, I don't understand where all this love is coming from. The love is coming from the kids who are now adults, who can afford to go to these things, where the people who were adults when we were kids that was hating on this shit no longer go to because they're fucking old. We've stuck them in senior citizen camps and shoved them for the most part to the fringe outskirts of the nerd community. I didn't mean to go on a rant. I was just sick and tired, to be quite honest, of seeing like 7 articles and like a dozen videos about why Hayden Christensen is getting such a resurgence when Star Wars fans hated him. The people who watched the Star Wars movies back in the day were kids. I was a kid. I did not have the ability back then to go to a convention or D23 or anything that Lucas was having to show my love, to let them know that like, hey, we really dug this. We kind of just went about being oblivious until we became adults, and people kept saying, oh, we fucking hate Attack of the Clones and Hayden Christensen, and we were like, who's we? We French? I'm not French. I speak English. I have no issues with Hayden Christensen. I fucking love them. And I'm happy to see everyone cheering him on and being hyped for him, because I really feel as though it's a weight off of his shoulders, where he's been carrying around like this dark fucking cloud from the Star Wars universe for so fucking long, and for him to finally be able to see that people love him and they appreciated him as Anakin Skywalker is a fantastic thing. And I can only wish that in some way, shape, or form we've been able to do that for Jake Lloyd before his entire life got fucked. But let me know. Were you also a kid when Star Wars came out and you had no issues with the prequels and you loved the prequels and you never understood the Hayden hate or the Jake hate or any of the hate that any of the actors got back then? Comment down below. Let me know. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.